of all, let's go to the marathon.
Right.
True, this year's participation has been higher than I think any other recorded number as before. Many people joined, 8,000 people
Right.
I think participated. Yes. I think last 4 years, was it 3 years or 4 years ago?
Last year, yes.
The number wasn't as much as that, but I think maybe 3,000 or something. But now we saw people really coming out to try and, you know, participate in the marathon, representatives from different countries. And also, there wasn't, you know, it was a peaceful marathon. There wasn't any problems with the matatu sector, the boda sector. All were organized very well. So there were two bits of the marathon. There was the 21 kilometers, there was the 40 kilometers, and then there was also the walking marathon as well. Now, Bill, could you please, you know, talk to us about, you know, the winners? First was Kip Kemboi for the 2 hours, clocked in at 2 hours, 8 minutes. And then we also have on the women's side, we also have
Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi. And the winners, both of them, walked away with 3.5 million.
Right.
Please talk to us about that.
Thank you. First of all, your person is mingi, man. 3.5. You know, the fact that they were given each that amount was quite a motivation for them, and you know, they were talking about how they would go and further, you know, put it into training for them to better themselves. But then again, it was quite an interesting one, because just like I mentioned earlier, new winners, new names rather that we're seeing for the first time. For example, Naomi Chebet. You know, it was she was making her debut in the marathon, so it was quite important to see the fact that, you know, she came out and you know, she did not come out to play, but to get positive results. So congratulations to Naomi, as well as Kip Kemboi, who won the men marathon side. Now, of course, for it was a reprieve for Kip Kemboi, because he missed out back in June. You know, he missed out on the Stockholm Marathon, so he had to come out again and prove himself way ahead of the rest, and congratulations to him as well. But you know, the marathon, something that caught my eye was you know, the 21 kilometers. That is the half marathon, because it was the Ugandan by the name Maxwell Rotich who came, and you know, alishinda Wakenya wenzetu bwana. So you know, it was quite interesting to see how you know, he managed to get past, you know, the home grounds, you know, our local runners hapa nyumbani, because I saw his interview, and he was talking about how he made adequate preparations coming to E10. He was in E10, where he was doing his practices, you know, a week prior to the marathon. So it was something that you can get from that. You know, practice makes perfect at the end of the day. So kudos to you know, the Ugandan, that is Maxwell Rotich, on his win as well, because it goes to show you how that you know, hata pave nyumbani, as much as you are well known for dominating the races and you know, flying the Kenyan flag high, you know, we are getting challenges from you know, our counterparts and our neighbors in the different countries. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you so much, Peter.
yeah.
Now, I also want to congratulate Maxwell,
Right.
because of that win in the 42 kilometers.
Right.
I think, for example, if Maxwell maybe joined the 42 kilometers, do you think he might have been able to beat Kip Kemboi? Because you see, we love the long races for us, for the 42 kilometers.
Right.
I think Ugandans, they feel maybe the half marathon, the 21 kilometer, I think they train more on that. But I don't think that he would have stood a chance
Right.
in the 42 kilometers. Nonetheless, congratulations to him. Also, Vincent,
Right.
as well, and was number 2.
2, yes.
And then Kennedy.
Yes.
Yeah, Kennedy, number 3. They also represented well, and they tried. But also remember, Maxwell himself. Yeah, Maxwell himself.
Right.
I knew he came to Kenya wanting to, you know, change the status quo here in Kenya.
Yes.
Because you know, sometimes they're born here in Kenya. Most of the runners were born here in Kenya, but then they moved to other countries to seek for other opportunities. Now, a question for you.
Right.
If, for example, here in Kenya,
Right.
in our own country, do you think that our Kenyan runners might be able to move to other countries, to seek the opportunity? Because you remember, before there was a challenge with the government sponsoring, and many of our athletes actually ran to neighboring countries to get more support. So how do you think that maybe in future we can stop this
Yes.
embarrassment from happening, our athletes moving to other countries?
Well, that has been quite a big challenge because Tumona previously, there's been that debate of trying to improve our training facilities, the structures hapa hivi nyumbani, because losing our important athletes to our neighboring countries, it still sort of steals our pride because wanaenda kushine huku kwingine bwana. Just like Maxwell Rotich's case, yes, he's Ugandan, he has been there because possibly he got sponsors or better facilities to train at in Uganda. That is why they rather associate with that sort of that country maybe to better their careers. But then again, hapa nyumbani we've seen for example the Athletics Kenya improve bringing back the trials, the heats. Recently we saw the heats at Nyayo National Stadium where budding athletes, they get a chance to come and represent themselves, to try to get that opportunity, to get better. And that is a big step that I think the government is doing as far as, making sure that our homegrown athletes, our party, they're not being lured away by neighboring countries. And also, we've seen that with the new regime, I think they have been really active in terms of supporting growing talents because just like not even in athletics peke yake, I mean other fields, football, we are seeing that stadiums are being built all over the counties. So this is a big step in as far as curbing and controlling this big disadvantage that we had. So I'm sure it might take some time, but then again, it's baby steps too, and we are sure that our runners, our athletes rather, wataenda to different different neighboring countries, but stay in home countries.
Thank you so much, Bill, for that insight, and I agree with you. I think that
the Athletics Kenya, yes.
Yeah, I think the Athletics Kenya and the government should cooperate in the discussion so that we can increase our value, because we have very good talent here at home. The government must also make sure that all the athletes are paid in time so that they can relax and they can stay here at home,
right,
to bring and to avoid other countries stealing them. So I think in future, maybe 2025, I think will become better, because right now, yes, we are trying, but there's still challenges of things like corruptions, and that's why we lose most of our athletes. But if the Athletics Kenya and the government collaborate, then I think that would be great. Another question on this. Now, another question. I think Robert.
Yes, keep going.
Yeah, I think he missed the Stockholm.
Right.
But it was a true shock, because you see, the missing the Stockholm Marathon did not deter him from training. He continued training, and the missing also did not disappoint him. I think. Do you think that maybe, he was hiding, doing the training in secret, and wanted to come direct and win the local one because of the missing the Stockholm, or what do you think?
Yes, for Robert, I believe for him missing out the Stockholm Marathon by the was just but because of visa delays, something that the government has been trying to curb and control, where you get such situations where athletes are supposed to travel to outside tournaments, for example, but the delays make them miss for example their matches or even the track events, for this case, for Robert's side. But then again, what I believe is that hata angeenda the Stockholm Marathon, he would have won, because just like he has proved in the Nairobi City Marathon, he has that endurance, because 42 kilometers, it's a really a tough, it requires endurance, a lot of training. And most of the time we hear that most of these athletes go where that they train in terrains where kuna baridi, somewhere they can withstand the the challenges that comes with the marathon, the long distance track races. So for it's a big congratulations to Robert. But then again, I believe that should he have tried it in the Stockholm Marathon, angefanya tu vizuri bado, because I believe he has the experience, and if anything, he's a force to reckon with. Maybe in the upcoming events, we yet to see his name again, as far as getting big titles is concerned.
Thank you so much, baby.
Right.
Now I hope everything goes on swiftly, and now I hope that everything works on well for Robert,
Right.
and the late visas and issues that government solves and makes it a smooth process for for the athletes, because there was also a problem last time with athletes traveling, but it was solved as well. I also want to thank the yesterday's city marathon,
Right.
Marathon planners for how it went well, and 3.5 million. If you had won that money, what would you have done for that? We thank God for the challenge that they had.
Right.
They've trained as well, not just talent wise, but they've also trained.